as a gay person, we do exist. We've been here. We're in the Latinx community. I grew up being silenced. I don't want to be silent anymore. One of the beautiful things about the Latinx List is that you have 10 writers who all come from different experiences.
What drives you? What's that push?
To me, my culture represents a North Star that I can kind of follow.
Like, I'm trying to be the artist both my parents weren't allowed to be.
They know how complicated it is being Latinx in this country. We've been here. We're indigenous. This is our home.
I feel like now people are willing to pay attention. Hey, what's up, everybody? My name is Dominic Colón. I am so excited to be interviewed today by my best friend, my non-sexual life partner, Mr. three-time Tony Award nominee, Robin De Jesús.
Hey, what up, mi gente? So, you want to jump right in?
Let's jump right in.
How do you identify culturally?
I identify as a Bronx born and bred, New Yorican, Boricua, gay male.
How did your family end up here?
I wish it was more exciting.
Yeah.
They came over really early.
What were some of the opportunities you got because of them coming to the mainland?
My parents sacrificed everything for their children. You know, I came of age in the late 80s, early 90s here in the Bronx at the height of the crack epidemic. They did everything to keep us like on the right path. They were like, you going to Catholic school? I did 1 year of public school at the and it wasn't like we could afford it. Like they would rob Peter to pay Paul. Not rob, but you know what I'm saying? Borrow Peter to pay Paul. Well, yeah, and it was one of those things where education was key. And at the time I was like, y'all are horrible people. Like I couldn't get it. I was like, why are you making me go to Catholic school? But I am so grateful that I did, because Catholic school really taught me discipline.
How would you say your family affected you as a writer today?
My family crazy. They all crazy.
Maria's not having that. You can't say
Maria
that.
Colón. My mom. I love you, Mom.
She's beautiful. She
is beautiful.
Yeah.
And my dad, rest in peace. He's amazing. I have siblings. Like, you know, they're beautiful people. They're complicated people. They are people who did their best with their experience, like how they were raised. And they were raised by complicated people.
Does writing almost help you in a way, like heal the DNA trauma that's happened?
I think yes. And it's cheaper than therapy. You don't have to pay a copayment. I think
no copay, no deductible. Okay?
You get paid for it. I think. Yeah, and I think that's one of the reasons why I was a closet writer. You know what I'm saying? Because, you know, it was so deeply personal for me. I am very aware that I am not on this journey alone.
What struck me right now was you used the word lonely.
Lonely?
You said you don't feel lonely.
I don't feel lonely.
You don't, but it's so interesting because like being Latinx and gay, I feel like sometimes there's an otherism that happens.
Yeah, but there is. There totally is. And I think if you ask Dominic now, do I feel lonely? But I think that definitely took time. 10-year-old Dominic felt lonely, felt like another, felt like he was the only one. Throughout the journey of life, you come to know that those are lies. Those are things that either society tells us to break us down. Those are things that we tell us, to break ourselves down because that's what we were taught. But I feel like there is so much power in being an other. One of the things that I write about is stepping into your power, is becoming the person that you were meant to be.
How did everyone react when you came out as a writer?
I don't know if I ever did come out as a writer. It was just kind of weird. I think even through the Latinx List, they're like, what's this? Like, what? So you're not home all day waiting for an audition? No, bitch. Like, what are you talking about?
What about as an actor?
Well, I think as an actor, my mom has always pushed me. My mom has always been my number one supporter. My father was a silent supporter. Like, he was there. He kind of showed up. He didn't really say too much. But, it's interesting, for a huge chunk of my life, like, I'd go to, like, the barber shop to get my haircut, and they're like, oh, your father was here the other day, he was bragging about this, and you want to know, and I'm like, well, you couldn't tell me that? Where were you, for all this, But I love them, and I bless them, and I'm grateful for them, because They made me the writer I am today.
So much of what you're saying is about the intersectionality of being working class and Latinx. But what does it mean specifically to you to be of Latinx descent?
First of all, when we talk about Latinx, we're not a monolith. Me being born and raised in the Bronx, and maybe not necessarily, having the connection to the island, I can't take that away because of all of that. It still lives within me. There is no separation.
Do you speak Spanish?
I mean, I'm not. Well, mi español es un poquito, but I speak Nuyorican Spanglish. But that's just because I don't have that confidence yet.
Well, but also it's really difficult to have that confidence when there's that shaming aspect to it. Yeah, you're absolutely shamed.
Or when your shame is you speak horrible Spanish.
You're chopped up Spanish.
Well, you're not making me want to speak more Spanish when you shame my Spanish.
I always feel like losing your language is sort of the first sort of U.S. transgression against us, because with that loss of language, there can be a massive disconnect. But even so, we've managed to work around it.
Well, I think there's what I have to say, there's a lot of beauty that has come out of it. Spanglish is my language.
Spanglish is beautiful.
Yeah, and it is beautiful, and that's how I write.
Why are you a writer?
One of the beautiful things of humanity is that we are all mirrors of each other. And I feel like through the gift of storytelling, we have the power to say, no, it's okay. There is always hope. There is always redemption on the other side.
What is your show about?
So this show is called Papi. Is a half-hour dramedy about a closeted bisexual barber from the Bronx who, on his 21st birthday, gets custody of his 6-year-old daughter. The inspiration for Papi actually came from someone who I met via a dating app. Dating is very, very loosely defined here.
Dating app.
And there's so many rich themes with within the context of the show. We hit these really hardcore themes, but my talent is to do it in a really funny way.
Well, we talk about this all the time. The largest ticket buying demographic in the movie theater are Latinos, and I feel like they're the most underrepresented in terms of those ratios.
Yeah, hell yeah. You know what I'm saying? And when it comes to film, when it comes to TV, and now it's we got to pay attention to Latinos. Yeah, well, we've been here. And not only that, is our cultural palette is there's so many different ways to tell stories. I feel like now people are willing to pay attention.
Yeah.
We need to continue providing opportunities for Latinx creatives. And specifically, we need to position Latinx folks in executive positions. We need people who can sign the checks. We need heads of corporations who could, make this stuff happen. And this is one of the reasons why even in the Latin, I am so grateful for this experience with the Latinx List. A group of people grabbed me by the hand, put me on this list, and said, pay attention to him.
You know what I literally heard in my head when you said the hand? Dame la mano. Ooh,
We're stupid.
With that awareness and knowledge and power, how do we uplift our Latinx LGBTQIA community?
Tell the stories. Tell the stories.
That's simple.
Tell the stories. Tell the truth. People need to see themselves modeled.
Yeah.
And that's the only way all of that negative banter and stuff that society tends to put on you, that's the only way that they can change.
Yeah. I love that.
So we are out of time. We can't do a round of applause for Robin. But Robin, thank you so much for doing this. I love you. You're my best friend.
I love you. I always got you.
I love you so much. And thank you to all for tuning in and celebrating Latinx Heritage Month with us. As always, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe to this channel for all the latest updates about everything Hulu. Acentos bienvenidos. All accents welcome.